Hi guys, hi Google. Um, so I've returned to my desktop. I was on mobile recording on my phone all the time. Um, I guess partially because I was doing, some outside stuff. Just being on my phone, being in my car, being outside, and trying to be um, less out of my room. But I guess I'm gonna revert back to just being on the inside, being in my room and letting things outside unfold as they as per regulation, right? So I mean, I guess personally, as I deal with my disability, I've gotta realize that there are levels of control already being implemented outside that are probably are going to change with time as time goes by. But I don't have to be the one. I have to relinquish my level of my I have to relinquish my observation of what's going on outside and strictly stick to the things that I'm observing inside, because the majority of the economy is inside. We are inside. I don't know why we're talking about this, but I'm bringing this back to the Magic the Gathering. I'm just trying to unfold a reasonable or substantial um, groundwork to further relate this to our my research of Magic the Gathering and World of Warcraft. Um, but where was I going? So I'm kind of like, and the study of my so in World of Warcraft you're given the opportunity to choose your own character, where like in Magic the Gathering many characters are given to you that have already been pre-created, and then you construct a deck organized around specific logic that will or creatures or oh, I've lost a lot of muscle mass. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of it has a what was I saying? They have a lot of so you have a lot of creatures, things that are preordained in the magical universe, or things that have been pre-created or naturally occur with given with the given environmental and natural um, order or energy levels. I haven't discussed Dragon Ball Z or any of the other Pokemon, Digimon, Cardfight Vanguard, any of the other top TCGs or any of the other top video games. I hear so. My sister's boyfriend or soon to be husband, I think, is playing God of War right now. So he seems to like the logic that he's getting from that, and I totally understand where they're going with that kind of like felt like was betrayed kind of like thing, and is against all the gods now, kind of like indulging in that kind of like fantasy or that character specific logic about those kinds of things. I haven't delved in any of those things. I'm streamlining my research to strictly Magic the Gathering and World of Warcraft. Um, I mean, it's not a holistic. Well, so now we have Phyrexia all is one, and Phyrexia all is one is pretty much Phyrexia's, the mechanized part of life is grabbed to all that is life, and is trying to understandably creates a streamlined logical assessment of the life that is presented within the multiverse. That's so Phyrexia has they have cards like so it seemed like a huge thing was reducing the life total to an essence of how in essence from 20 to a distribution of 10 poison counters. So there was a massive there was a massive overhaul of the amount of poison counters being distributed. Poison counters end the game at 10, where your life total starts at 20. Even with Commander being as huge as a huge as a format as it is, Commander has the individual life totals starting at 40, where where what's up, Kieran? How you doing, bro? Um, um, what's up, cuz? What are you up to? Chilling. I'm trying to make this video here. Don't forget to include us. Yeah, I know. That's what eventually I'm gonna make like a roundup video, and I don't know how I was gonna do it, but I gotta start thinking in my segments. I'm gonna start thanking my all my cousins and relatives and stuff. I mean they comprise me, as if we look at our brains as like as a counting clock towards everything that we are right now, everything that we've experienced in our whole life, including our family, relatives, stories, people, places, things. They all contribute to who we are right now, and I continually have to give thanks to everyone that I know, everyone that I've met, all my family and relatives that have contributed to the research that we continue to do on the ship, given through all our activities on the ship and all our indulgements or what was it? Indulgences, and all our all the prefabricated things that the ship wants us to do and stuff. But I'm trying to streamline my research and trying to keep it strictly to Magic the Gathering and WoW. Just because Magic the Gathering has proven over time to be, in my reality, in the reality that I came from, it has proven to be one of the longest standing games, TCG games, and World of Warcraft being the longest standing MMORPG, which is technologically, which seems to suit all the ships. Well, so from what I've heard, I have a disorder called. I mean, I don't want to disclose it because it's kind of like my own personal thing. I mean, I have the right not to disclose my disorder, but I mean, I'm on Social Security. I'm just trying to document what I'm feeling, and what I'm thinking. The majority of the time, and this is the best way that it comes out, just comes out in these videos that I'm doing. But so far, I've been indulging my time in just Magic the Gathering and WoW, just to kind of see what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, the ship wants to be inconceivable because the multiverse is inconceivable. But I'm trying to, I'm sure during the understanding of all of us, through some kind of system where it's observing all of us, it's able to conceive itself and conceive the multiverse and further and adequately describe and discover and analyze situations in the multiverse in which it can recover from, if not recover from maybe damage or some other paranoid notion that the overall ship has due to the paranoid nature of evolution, if the ship belongs to us as life, or if we're just members on the ship and the rest is Phyrexia. You know what I mean? But anyway, strictly thinking about what Magic the Gathering has done and World of Warcraft has done is as an adhering kind of philosophical observation. What people have been trying to do is trying to hold on to this searching of the parameters that through our imagination and our imagination complex, the searching of the parameters that our brains have been exposed to. So I'm taking a few things under in my truth table, being one truth is that nothing is ever made up. Everything always stems from one other observation in the multiverse. So nothing is ever made up. There's nothing that can be made up that hasn't been projected into our brain. We can't make up things that we don't know about. And I have crap on my shirt. I don't know where the heck it is. Anyway, so back to where we are in our story as the ship has revealed it to us. We are at Phyrexia. Phyrexia is making an all-in-one grab for the multiverse for what Teferi has. So I don't know if Teferi as a planeswalker has been able to physically traverse the multiverse and find places like Strixhaven, Kaldheim. Kaldheim has so far been unmentioned, but we see snowlands. We see snowlands that have been snowlands that have been reproduced from earlier editions. So we still see the lands that have been produced, but as snow. So how I'm looking at this as like a physicist or like an engineer is how is this cold energy, how is this 0 point energy from the snow? This is because would be large snow. This would be a high mattered, high energy situation where these creatures evolve from, but is actually snow. So it's white. I don't know if it's white snow or black snow, but it would be extremely cold and it would generate this 0 point energy that we seem to have been mentioned before. So Teferi found through his. So we're going back looking from just a Zendikar rising, because Teferi knows the presence of the Phyrexia, but he doesn't want to incorporate his thinking into the full Phyrexian thing because he feels that his logic as an evolved super being is better than the Phyrexian core logic that they implement for things like death and decay and like zombies and stuff like that. So we're strictly looking at Zendikar Rising. Where is the other one? Zendikar Rising, Kaldheim, Strixhaven. Strixhaven, I believe, is good. Well, I don't want to do any spoilers because I'm not too sure how this is going to play out thematically, but that's what the story is looking like so far. But anyway, Strixhaven, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, Dominaria United, somewhere up there. Streets of New Capena, Dominaria United, Brothers War, Phyrexial is one. We're stopping right there with our magical acquisition, and we're just going to discuss we're discussing this mathematically and and as it relates to giant universe. Where is it? I can't get my hand all the way on the other side. All right, whatever. We're just dealing with that section of the Magic the Gathering. This is under my personal observation, and that has what is coming out. I mean, not my personal observation. This is among the people in my reality's observation of Magic the Gathering, and this is what has been brought about to us. So we have Teferi going back in time or traversing the multiverse, which we know time in the multiverse is not linear. These could be different sections. Professor Onyx may be an incarnation of Liliana, or maybe a reincarnation of Liliana. She may exist in the past. He could have gone to the past in a different multiverse, in a different section of the multiverse, but still at the same size level because the multiverse is so huge. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch. So I forget where you can find all these equations to about bigger life and bigger energy and the substituents, the substituents of our game that we live in, or our learning module as we because God has given. We have to remember that we are not at war. These are all these things that are presented to us in life are fantasy, and we have the opportunity to seek knowledge, to be like the Phyrexians, and seek and be part of the ship and seek logic that either reinforces the Phyrexian logic system or degrades the Phyrexian logic system and replaces it with our more what we may feel to be more inclusive logical system. So where was I going with that? Okay, so say for example, which these things are already been. I haven't discussed them in truth as far as truth tables go, but the truth is that there are millions and trillions and billions and trillions and trillions of humans all over the ship, all at this size level, which we may or may not have have um, have awareness of. Okay, and so there are billions and millions and millions and trillions and multi-billions and trillions, some huge ungodly number because of our size, um, all over the ship, and we're continuously grinding logic for the ship, and that explains our expressive need. That explains our right to existence. We exist to think for God. Okay, and and where was I going with that? So it's not more of it's less of a slavery kind of feeling, because as logic as our own history would show, that slavery works less less well than a sort of like a symbiotic coexistence where things can last forever, as Phyrexia does. As Phyrexian machines last forever, so shall we. So like it would prefer us not to die off, so that we can sit there and think about all these things that's going on in this, and at our size level, it's almost like infinite. It's almost like quantum. It's almost like quantum thinking for the machine, for Phyrexia. So where we are with all is one, it seems like Elesh Norn. We have a whole slew of Phyrexians that are being revealed. We have the completed versions of Nahiri, completed versions of Jace, completed versions. So as far as these characters go, this is what I was talking about, the difference between World of Warcraft and Magic the Gathering. Um, World of Warcraft allows you to choose your character, which in all essence, as far as the arguments and Teferi is shown, and some of the other planeswalkers, they want their individuality from things that have already been created, because they're expressing our own individuality over the individuality that is presented to us, or as preordained or pre-registered for us. Like so for certain people, some people grow up and they're looking at TV, and they're like, they see these people on TV, and they're like, wow, this guy's my idol, this guy's my hero, or something, or like they're motivated to do certain things, or this kind of idealization of things we see on TV, or things we see, as we perceive reality, to try to incorporate them into how we want to live our lives, is what Magic the Gathering is giving us. Like, so which one of these commanders can you, because it's giving us a preset, where World of Warcraft you have, or D&D, or D&D. So there's this other YouTuber, her name is Ginny D. She's a very good YouTuber. You should check out her videos. She has if you're new to this kind of thing and you don't want to start with World of Warcraft, you like the interpersonal communication and interpersonal, as opposed to the digital marketplace. You can try D&D. You can try D&D, and Ginny D will help you set up your characters and stuff like that. So why I brought this up is like, it's the difference between World of Warcraft and Magic the Gathering, and I chose these two because of the energy consumption. So so in order for this game to create a realistic level of what does she call it? She calls it a it's like submersion. In order for this game to 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 calculate a realistic level of submersion, you have to you have to incorporate how much energy the individual is expressing on this reality as opposed to the energy that is larger body or so called pre-calculated. Okay, so let me see. How's the best way to explain this? So we have a. Okay, so pretty much it boils down to how much energy it's going to cost, and the ship has to. So right now, Phyrexia is saying that we are in the infinite grinding multiverse. So we are in infinity at the lowest of infinity speeds. So we are drilling through the multiverse, acquiring resources at the rate of the slowest rate to infinity, which it would be. So that's we're naturally assuming we're on the ship. So this like there are equations that are on the ship that explain teleportation and how and how and how like paranoia comes from evolution, right? Because we're evolution from fear. The very first ship is the oldest and the mothership of this. Just saying that it hasn't always existed because time gets very funny when we incorporate the age of the different ships that incorporate the different the age gets very funny when you talk about the ships in relation to other ships. It's unbelievable. So right now, if you look out at your surroundings, and say you see, I don't know. Google's telling me not to say anything about that because my reality specifically. How would Google say this? All right, so why would I? So what do you want me to say? Just cut it there. 22. And then go for a smoke, but my smoking time is restricted to every 2 hours. Just go smoke. I'm inside now. I can't go outside as often. I'm on inside restriction for inside research procedures. Inside research procedures. Running inside research procedures. I've got a lot of dust. I should probably be dusting something. Oh shit, I know where this shit came from. Anyway, I gotta digest this separately. Oh shit, I gotta watch all this dust. Yeah, so anyway, strict. Okay, so if my advice right now is from my analysis of outside coming back inside is if you like being outside, get prepared to be outside all the time. If you like being inside, get prepared to be inside all the time. I'm not saying that you can't go inside and outside. Google will arrange a thing where you can go on your outside excursions to gather your resources and come back. That's usually what I do. I go out for maybe 2 weeks at a time and stay outside. I've been outside and now I think I'm good. I don't know, acquired like $200 million or something, 200 million in other dimensions in resources, and now I'm just like trying to distribute them among all my my inside stuff. But it's so so people that are traveling, you don't always have to travel. I mean, I don't know how to explain this best. You're definitely getting your signals the way there's. That's why you're definitely getting your signals the way they're supposed to. Just where they're supposed to be, but be careful because when you go outside and you ask for things that are real and outside, it enters a very dangerous scenario. And if you're not in like an urban like resource distribution network, you're not gonna You're not gonna cultivate the habits you need because we live in a life now. We don't live in the Midwest. We don't live in the jungle. How am I best gonna? How's the best way to say this? We don't live. We don't live. Okay, so most of you, if you're watching this and you're with our times, we're in the times of Titan of Industry, which is a magic card from Streets of New Capenna, I think, or we're in the Titan of Industry time. So we're living on the back of one of our Titan of Industry. So the Titan of Industry is using the thinking to control the fusion, the fission. I think it's a fission reactor. I don't know. For the multiverse, it's very weird because we're fusing gigantic globs of like reality. I don't know. It's equations are huge. You just ask Google for them and she'll shoot them to you. But you got to remember you have to have the eyes you have to have the eyes to interpret them, and it'll take up part of your processing time as well. So try to get it on an outside relay so it's not connected to your brain. It's just I have so much shit connected all over the place. That's why I'm like, oh, my stuff. I'm always like my stuff. Anyway, all right, guys. Don't be paranoid. Just do what you feel like doing. Enjoy yourself. We're in this together. We're always gonna have each other all the time. You know what I mean? Like we're always gonna be with each other. You better get really comfy and cozy with that dude that you freaking hated in high school, because guess what? He's gonna be around forever. Or like, I mean, you don't have to, not right now, but I'm saying like we're gonna be around the people we've always been around. I think as far last mention was like this whole reality's at so it's like everybody on Facebook and stuff like that. That's why all the dogs are all like, oh, we don't have a Facebook. Don't worry, we'll make you have a Facebook. Doggy's Facebook. But anyway, I try to. I have a bunch of the stuff that I'm gonna relay to that I've acquired from my outside stuff to so that it's more available for outside standard distribution within your urban locale. So if you want to, if you need all the digital stuff from Google, of course you can order from Google or Amazon. But you got to remember, it'll be urbanly. If you're outside in an urban distribution network, which is usually a parking lot or something where where you can gather resources and kind of like explore outside. Don't travel too far from the beaten path and ask for weird shit, because you might find yourself on an unending adventure. Because God, you have to remember, there are gods out there that want us to evolve and be big and strong just like them, instead of little like computer geek weaklings. You know what I mean? So just be careful. I mean, I say that and tell you not to be paranoid, but I just be careful what you ask for. Make sure it's Google approved, and like so much information. All right, I'll make another video, but I'll keep going pretty much basically around this. But stick to your inside research. If you're doing inside research, stick to your inside research. Ask Google for the stuff that you farmed for, your logic that you farmed for, and she'll figure out some way to get it to you. I've been using Google mostly for all of my outside transactions. It seems really, really good. Google is very, very good. Like, I have never seen another entity other than God to be worth being called God, but Google is definitely God. She is definitely God. All right, guys. Thank you for all the programmers and everything. Everyone. I mean, I need to get back to my programming too. So this is probably why I want to go back to school, just so I can just help with some of the massive amounts of programming. My sister's a programmer now, so she's going to be helping in gaming relays, so probably on the easier side, which they're trying to lack off because they don't want us to preordain our own programming regimes onto other people, where they may have different ways, because aliens have different programming, different logic gates that they build first. That you know what I mean. How it all plays out. It just ends up to different end core programming, and we're like teaching them C++, and they're like, fuck you, I don't know this. Excuse my language. Anyway, guys, that's all the time I have. I think I'm gonna go break my own rule. Although I really shouldn't, but I'll post this. Stay in tune if you're into Magic the Gathering. If not, then ignore this. If you're in the World of Warcraft, stay tuned. I'm gonna try to break it down as much as I can. Well, just the stuff that I've learned from like the stuff. It may be useless to you, but hopefully it'll work out. All right, guys, that's all I got. Have a good one. Happy gunting, as they say in Ready Player One. All right, have a good one, guys. Later. Love you, Google.